Well, good evening. So we just finished a week-long trip in the Thousand Islands, and we had non-stop outboard issues. It hardly ran at all. I think I paddled more miles than the engine ran. So it gave me the idea, something I've been thinking of for a while, is I wanted to experiment with more with electric propulsion. So now I'm heading off on a 3-day, 3-night cruise, uh, and one of my goals is going to be to test the electric propulsion, how far I can get from the battery. I've only got 20 watts of solar, so I mean that is, so I'm going to have to be pretty conservative over 3 days, and I'm going to have to sail and just use the 40-pound trolling motor for docking. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm just going to use the trolling motor. I'm just moving from here to that dock over there. So clearly I'm not sailing. So I'm not going far, so I'm just going to use the trolling motor. Well, that wasn't a bad sleep, but the mosquitoes here are ridiculous. Even with the boat all sealed up and the bug screen in the port light, they're still getting in, and they're just buzzing all around my head. It's annoying. It looks like there is absolutely no wind out there, so can't really go anywhere. Well, according to Windfinder, there's supposed to be 3 mile per hour winds gusting to 6. Some people like sailing in light winds like that, like 5 mile per hour winds. I don't get it. No wind, but kind of a cool morning too, though, with a little bit of fog right at the water level. Well, just put some coffee on while I wait to see if there's going to be any wind. Coffee, and I'll probably do some oatmeal. All right, just getting underway here. Apparently this dock is having a special event at it today, so somebody asked me to move along. That's fine. It's free docks. So battery test shows everything's full. I have been charging off the battery overnight, and there was no solar power overnight, obviously, so I'm expecting it's down a little bit. Let's take a look. Okay, so cell phone charging overnight actually took it down quite a bit. It was at 13.15 yesterday, and now it's at 12.8. So hopefully we get some sunshine. Okay, slight change of plans. I was going to try and head for a nearby beach that I often go to, but these thunder clouds look like they're serious. So what I think I'm going to do instead is go to a dock, uh, even if I have to pay for it. I don't really want to be out in these thunderstorms. Uh, I thought I had until 2, but then the forecast changed, and now I have until 1. So I'm moving right along though. Jive ho! I think I might try and sail into dock. I'm not sure if I'm going to play the peak halyard, or if I guess I'll kind of have to see how much speed I have coming into dock. Alright, I didn't really use the trolling motor much because, well, I didn't need it, sailboat, but let's see where we stand. Okay, so it's showing 100% battery still, and I'll check with the voltmeter, see what the battery's reading. Okay, so 13.15, so it's actually charged up a little bit. Alright, here we are, nothing but thunderstorms all night. The battery didn't get used, but nor did it really get charged. Okay, it's saying full charge on there. Let's check it on the voltmeter. Alright, so there it is. It's reading 12.98, which is almost exactly what it was. Yesterday morning when I woke up, it was 12.96. Similar usage, so that's good. Let's see how it does throughout the day. Alright, well, today's one of those days where there's simply no good reason to motor away from the dock, so I set the sail at the dock and I'm just going to sail off. Alright, this isn't really working. I'm losing ground on the dock. This isn't my favorite spot to sail, right off this boat launch, because you got the sharp bend that really kills the wind, and sail's filling now. I was going to say that I was going to try motoring up around that next point up there. Now that the boat's sailing, maybe try and keep sailing, I don't know. So my next experiment is I'm going to try and run the trolling motor for 20 minutes at 50%. I'm going to set an alarm and just see what kind of an effect that has on the battery. So I'm just setting my alarm. But I do have to remember not to use up too much of my power, because I'll need some for getting under the bridges. My mast has to come down to the next bridge. Okay, I cut the motor earlier than planned because it's down to 75% on the gauge on the outboard, and like I said, I want to have it. Be sure I have it for the bridge, and there's actually a little bit of wind here. Well, I didn't even have to motor the length of that island because, I just got up around the corner and the wind picked up. So it's just a matter of using little shots on the trolling motor to get out from behind the trees is makes a big difference. Nice little wind here. Hopefully this sticks around. Maybe 3-4 miles per hour. Actually get the boat sailing halfway decent. The wind continues to improve as I get into more proper, uh, more open water. This is actually pretty nice sailing right now. I'm not doing anything fancy for lunch. It's just me, and it's a pretty small boat to get too fancy on for meal wise. If I was stopped in a better spot, but could get into some powerboat wakes here and that sort of thing. So I'm just gonna do some ramen noodles. I thought while I'm waiting for my noodles to warm up, could check the status of this battery. I've used it quite a bit today. All right, well, it's saying on the little gauge on the battery thing, but it's showing 100% on that. So let's check the voltage with a voltmeter. Well, those noodles did in fact, did indeed hit the spot. I think I might have a little nap. All right, time for me to go up forward and get my anchor. I recover the anchor on this boat over the side. I got the tiller lashed to leeward, so I am hove to. While I do this, anchor's covered in mud. I'm going to drag it for a while. Alright, I'm going to sail out into the channel here. Alright, well, I was going to sail up to the next lake, up past the next bridge I was talking about. But I just looked at the weather, and the wind is actually supposed to go down, become less than this for the rest of the day. And there is little enough wind right now that I can't fill a lightweight sail. So I don't want to wind up with nowhere to stay. So I am going to head back downriver and stay at one of my regular spots. Alright, well, with no wind, I allowed myself to drift into the weeds. Now my trolling motor's all wrapped up in weeds, just like an outboard would be. You can actually see how the powerboat waves push me out of the channel and into the shoreline. It doesn't matter which side of the channel I go on, the powerboat waves push me one way or the other. And I get pushed towards either one shoreline or the other. Alright, I've been running this trolling motor now, just coming back to dock. I've been running it for about the last half hour, just at 30%, just seeing how it would do, and it's still going along, chugging along. It's not fast, but it's effective. There's a world of difference between sitting, drifting, blowing into the weeds, not moving at all, except for, wherever you get pushed around by wakes, and moving along towards your destination at a knot. There's a world of difference between the two. I'm guessing we're doing it about a knot. So, and the trolling motor's doing it at 30% for the last half hour. I haven't had this battery charged on a charger. We were actually out for a week immediately before I launched for this trip with no charging in between, so it's done fine. So once again, 5 minutes on the trolling motor was able to get me out from behind the trees and back out into the wind again. So I'm sailing. Actually, not a bad speed. Alright, well, that's my 3-day test cruise of electric propulsion. I've definitely had a chance to make an assessment on whether it'll work for me or not. I think it will. I'm just about a half mile back to my boat launch here. So we've known for a long time that the battery, inverter, and solar charger works great for charging our phones. The trolling motor certainly has lots of power for docking, or for working around dead air and that sort of thing. The things that definitely need upgraded are the battery. Probably should be upgraded. It seems as though it doesn't run all that long. Right now I'm between 50 and 75% charge according to the meter on the trolling motor. And the solar panel's only 20 watts, so you can't really expect too much of it. So what I'm thinking is I'll probably get a couple of 75 watt panels maybe, the portable kind. We'll see, or maybe if I can find somewhere to put 100 watts. I don't think there's anywhere on this boat to put a 100-watt panel. So a couple of 75-watt panels, maybe. Of course, I gotta do more research. This is just what I'm thinking right now as I'm sailing along, not having done any actual shopping. And then another battery, maybe a 100 amp hour battery. And so between the two batteries, I think that'll give some better range for things like we do go through some canals and that sort of thing.
Okay, so that's testing a electric trolling motor on a trailer sailor sailboat over a 3-day weekend. Thank you. Bye.